Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hayden Newberry Fishing. We are back in the camper tonight. If you didn't watch my last video, you know that my days back here are numbered. I already sold the camper, and we're going to be out of it, should be out of it this weekend. So after that, my videos will be filmed, I guess, outside of my truck topper setup that I have for tournament fishing. I'm going to be in that for a couple weeks. So there's probably only a few videos left that I'll be filming back here. But anyway, what we're talking about tonight is something that I immediately, when I saw it happening, I knew that it was going to be something that we needed to make a video about. It was going to be controversial. I haven't actually seen if anybody's made any videos about it yet. I'm sure that there's probably some out there. I haven't been watching any YouTube videos or anything. I've been watching what it's about is the Elite Series tournament. I was watching that, and I haven't really been on there to see if anybody's commented on it yet. I heard some comments throughout the tournament about it, but the big just elephant in the room in the Okeechobee tournament was that Tyler Vett, congratulations to him, won it with LiveScope. And that was the one that it seemed like everybody believed LiveScope was just not going to play in, which it had a huge chance. The majority of the top 10 were not out there LiveScoping them. But LiveScope totally played in it because it won the entire tournament. I don't think that really a lot of the field probably even looked for a LiveScope bite, but still a huge congratulations that he found it, because one, it's not a bad thing, or I guess a bad thing when you find a LiveScope bite that nobody even thought was possible. There were a lot of people that if you told them that you were going to go to Okeechobee in February and LiveScope them in the river, they would have laughed at you. And probably some of the people in the Elite Series field would have laughed at you if you said that you were going to try to actually do well in an Okeechobee tournament doing that. But it's here, and it's here to stay. LiveScope has changed everything. It's going to continue to change everything. But there's so much to talk about when it comes to this tournament. We're going to start with the LiveScope aspect of it, and then we'll kind of get into the other stuff that I want to talk about, because there's a few things that have went on that are just, I guess, from a viewer standpoint are kind of annoying to see. From a bass fisherman standpoint are kind of annoying to see. We'll get to that in a minute. But from the LiveScope perspective, I want to talk about that because I feel like there's this narrative that gets pushed with that, I guess, if you want to call it that's the only way to win now. That LiveScope is just, it's changing everything. If you want to win a tournament now, you got to learn LiveScope and all that. I want to point out, as a big thing surrounding his win there, is that he was smart enough. It's not an easy thing. He was smart enough to find that, which he says that he stumbled onto it, that's something that also his knowledge of LiveScope led him into. He said he went up there looking for sockeye, which is crappie for anybody else in the country, or specks for those of you down in Florida. He went there looking for crappie and noticed that they were bass in there. So, one, just the fact that he is able to use it in that way takes real skill. That he was able to identify what was going on so quickly takes real skill. And the fact that he was able to catch them with it takes real skill, because I can tell you guys from experience, I tried to LiveScope them in the canals between Hatchinahaw and Lake Kissimmee down in Florida when I lived down there, and it's hard. The conditions have to be right. You have to really be good with LiveScope to do it. I tried to do it, and I only caught like a few fish ever trying to LiveScope them that way. If I would have been one of the guys down on what am I trying to say? One of the guys down on Okeechobee, there we go, in the tournament, I would have not even looked for it. not if I would have went in there to crappie fish, I never would have thought that those were bass in there and that you could actually catch them and do well on them. So, on top of that, people talking about how great the live scope bite really is. If he would have had the pressure that the other guys had, never would have worked. Never would have worked. So I guess for the people that have it in their head that from now on Okeechobee is just going to be one in the rivers or something, I don't think that's a possibility ever. I really don't. I think that the river might play from now on because people that live scope know that it's there. If it doesn't just get absolutely hammered from now until eternity, because now everybody down there at Okeechobee knows that they can go in the river and catch big ones with a live scope. There's plenty of people out there that are there all the time to do it, but you look at the amount of people that are in those high trafficked areas. You name it on Okeechobee, where Steve Kennedy, all those guys were. The amount of guys were in there. If you took those people and put them where Tyler Rivette was, it ain't happening. He didn't win. So the fact that was one of those deals that he found the deal and nobody else found it. And so because he did that, he won the tournament. He didn't go with the crowd. What he did absolutely, if you can bash it all you want, what he did absolutely takes unbelievable amounts of skill and knowledge of fishing. And then it also takes that somebody else doesn't find it with you. So I guess to what I'm saying is that I don't foresee in the future that Okeechobee is just going to get walked away with live scope. I think that you trickle a few more people in there and that bite's crushed and out of, and then here's the big thing: take 10 people of the field, put them in that river, live scoping. The other bite just got stronger. So, yeah, he didn't win it by a long shot. So I think that's possibly a one-time deal. I think that the next time, if they go there and too many people live scope them, I think the lake is gonna kill it next time. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about that. I think that people thinking that Okeechobee from now on is going to be a live scoping lake, I think that it's more of that he found it and it's probably done with. If the Elite Series goes back there, I truthfully don't think that that's going to win again, because there's just not. I don't think there's enough of it. Might be wrong. It might take it a few times before there's too much pressure there and it flip flops. But that's, I guess, the good outlook of things like that when it comes to guys that would rather be fishing the dollar pads with a frog. I would love to be on that end of it instead of live scoping. So for me, that's a good thing. Every time somebody finds one of those bites, I like it, because more people are going to push there when it becomes known. It sucks to be the guys that have to watch it happen the first time, but from then on, you're like, sweet. So now there's going to be these bunch of guys that don't find them here. They're going to leave and dump it, and then you're going to have more of it to yourself on tournament day. So that's, truthfully, in the long run, is a better thing for the guys that stick shallow and just aren't live scopers. So the second part of that tournament that I want to talk about, I feel like I talked that part to death, but the second part that I want to talk about when it came to that tournament is this whole thing of, I guess, angler conduct in the I think I'm just gonna call it this video like something about the game being changed or whatever, because everything seems to he's doing it different and people are doing things different. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna, so that you guys know what all this is. The whole thing of guys doing things to stand out, being themselves, having a personality, which I thought was like supposed to be a real thing, but apparently there's some people that don't like it. Tyler apparently ripped his shirt off on the stage. I didn't see anything about it. I saw comments on it on Facebook or whatever today, and there was these people bashing him because of it. what professional sport has a dude not ripped his shirt off or taken his shirt off or whatever? Like the biggest sport in the world, not the biggest sport in America, but the biggest sport in the world, soccer. People take their shirt off all the time. It's not golf, or fishing is not the PGA Tour. It's not. It's different. If you haven't accepted that yet, the PGA Tour or fishing is not the PGA Tour. It is nothing like it. It is not this little ritzy sport. It does take money to get into it for sure, but there the the two aren't the same. So I saw a comment specifically, which I actually heard. And I was listening to a podcast a while back. Sorry, I can't remember whose it was, but Matt Robertson was on it. He was talking about the incident in his underwear where he got in trouble. Now, I will say that probably shouldn't be doing that one. That's something that I get, showing your personality and everything, but taking your pants off on live TV isn't necessarily a good look. So maybe stepped over the line, but things along those lines. Somebody, I guess, had made the comment to him, this isn't WWE. And I totally have to agree with his response to that. Because it was the exact same thing that I thought, is that I wish I got paid to fish what even the amateurs in wrestling are getting paid, because you don't get paid. You pay to be there. So I wish that professional fishing, the Bassmasters, everything, got paid what guys in WWE are getting paid. That I think we're probably doing it wrong and probably should be a little more, try to stand out a little bit more like they do. Do some more off the wall stuff. Be yourself. Not that the guys in WWE are being themselves. It's kind of all fake. Sorry, probably lost some people on that one, but is that it's okay to show your personality. That's what it's all about. You're selling. The Bass is the platform that allows people to get out there and get sponsors, stand out from the crowd, be their own tournament fishermen. Now, don't go out there, I guess is what I'm saying, don't go out there and hurt their brand that is trying to put you on a pedestal and giving you a platform to stand on. So I guess an analogy to that is that you're not gonna try to undercut the guy that built the billboard that you put your face on. You buy the spot from the guy that built the billboard, and then you get to put your advertisement on it. That's what Bass is. Bass is the company that has made this tournament organization, this platform where you can express yourself. You don't need to overstep that line, but there needs to be some self-expression out there, some connection with fans and everything, because also without, just like a billboard is worthless if there's nobody there to put their face on it, Bass is worthless if there's nobody fishing the tournaments. If there's nobody there, who cares? It's just a company that doesn't have any tournaments and doesn't have any personality on the front of it. So I think there needs to be that. There needs to be guys that when they win, they're, and again, to circle back around to it, Mercer said to Hulk Hogan his shirt if he won. So direct WWE reference from the guy working for Bass. So giving him any kind of flack over taking his shirt off, or not taking his shirt off, I guess he ripped it off at the weigh-in when he just won an Elite Series tournament. Just get out of here. That's not it's not relevant. If you have a problem with that, you probably need to go watch the PGA Tour or something. I don't think bass fishing's your thing, but I guess I wanted to highlight that for everybody, that it's already a tough sport to sell. I'll say it that way. Bass fishing's a tough one to sell. It's fun in person, but for anybody watching, getting footage out of a bunch of guys going out and fishing all day, it's a tough sell. It's not a bunch of guys jumping around in a ring, body slamming each other. There's the other day, the final day on Okeechobee, I tuned in at like 10 a.m. and the entire top 10 had caught like 10 bass. That's tough to keep people interested. You got to do something. You got to have some type of personalities on there. That's the problem that I see a lot of the time is when they're on live, and not to rag on anybody, but a lot of times when you're watching live, you have some of the guys that just don't like to show their personality on there, and that's a lot of the show. I mean, you got guys like Zona and stuff announcing that do an awesome job keeping everybody's attention, but you have some of these guys that when it comes to giving a quick interview live, like they go live, this is your chance to talk to the camera, show some personality, maybe talk about your sponsors a little bit, and there's sometimes they just crickets. They might say like a few things. It's kind of bland, and I mean, it's tough. It's tough to keep people around. So I have no problem with people doing things. Again, not necessarily saying that it's a great look to be in your underwear on live TV, just because there's a lot of problems that can arise from that. There's definitely some endless things that could maybe go wrong with the audience that you have watching. So maybe not that, but ripping off your shirt at a weigh-in when you just won a tournament, just get out of here if you're gonna complain about that. But anyway, that's my opinion on everything going on. Thought I'd just hit on all this stuff as it was happening, because I knew there was going to be people talking about it. Knew there was going to be people thinking about it. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the next one.